Today we're going to talk about the Bible, parenthood, and children. So, after finishing The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shinn, we decided to start with that was one of my favorite parts of the book, Rosie and Juanita.
Yes.
Where she talks about, how the parents need not to get involved with or force themselves upon their children's career, profession. And she quotes the Bible. A lot of times she uses Psalms, but it goes, let the God in this child have perfect expression. Let the divine design of his mind, body, and affairs be made manifest through his life throughout eternity. And it is God's will, not man's will. So with that, all about you, all about me, we're going to be talking about not thinking before about parenthood. We as parents want the best for our children, and unknowingly, many, many times, we do the opposite. So I'm going to start with me, I guess. I now understand that I did make a mistake by not allowing my son to be what he wanted to be right after high school or even during high school. I thought I needed to guide him and make him someone that he didn't want to be. I wanted him to have a great job behind a desk, be a professional in anything like engineering, medicine, anything. But I didn't want him to go through what I went through. But little did I know that it's really not up to me, it's up to God. We come already with a destiny. Who am I to interfere in my son's affairs? So when I read this part about let the God in this child have perfect expression, it really, really hit me to a point where I really had to go to my son and apologize for him. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it does say, if you don't allow God to intervene with his child, we do have a penalty to pay. So I just wish I had known before, honestly. So what do you guys think about what that part was?
I agree too, because we are always told, well, your brother's this, your uncle's this, your uncle's that, and we want the best for our kids. I had 2 incidents where my kids wanted to go to the service, which I did not allow, and I fought however I could. And then I had another incident when one of my boys wanted to try police officer. And I was constantly told, oh, it's dangerous, this and that, that and that. And I pleaded with one of them, and I go, no, mijo, don't be a police officer, be something else. Because I figured, okay, well, these kids are gonna be behind desk. Some are gonna be attorneys, some are gonna be engineers. The girls are gonna be models or whatever. And sometimes you're not privileged certain things, and you don't know about the background of certain jobs. So therefore, you stray them away. And that's how they fall into other categories, like, for example, street issues, gangsters, or whatever. Thank God mine are not. But because we parents don't try and listen to them. We don't know how to listen to them. Well, I didn't, because I wasn't aware or knowledgeable or taught. So therefore, I also have to apologize for my children, because
To your children.
to my children, because yes, they have good jobs. My daughter works in a company, a very well-known company. My sons are plumbers. My other daughter works in dentistry, which I'm blessed. But even then, I closed avenues for them, not knowing that I was closing avenues. So, they can't always be what you want them to be. just because I'm this, I'm that, that doesn't mean my kids are going to be it. So, what do you think, Rosie?
Well, I don't have any children, but God puts us in the path we're supposed to be.
I think so.
I'm an example of that. When I left high school, I wanted to be an aerospace engineer, you know, and I went to college pursuing that career, and by some coincidence, a year after I started becoming an aerospace engineer, the aerospace engineer collapsed. Now it's back,
Yeah.
and but it collapsed, and I had no choice but to give up that career. And I had a hard time finding a career, and then I ended up in law and working in a law firm, and law was very good to me. It gave me a really great life, and I'm thankful and grateful for it. It not only helped me, it helped my family, and it helped me, do a lot of things I probably wouldn't have been able to do if it were not because I had a good salary. But it was not really my career either. And I kept fighting it and trying to stay in there. But finally, I accepted and I left law because I thought, well, let me try teaching. And I have been told that I was a teacher in college by one of my roommates. She said, "Oh no, you would be a great teacher." But I had this picture of teachers as being, self-sacrificing and, and it was not a life I thought I wanted. But I did. And I went into teaching, and teaching really gave me the fulfillment I needed. I really truly felt I was making a difference. The most awesome feeling is when one of your kids comes back, and I always call them my kids, and they tell you, "Oh, I'm so glad you were my teacher because, this, or this." And they show you how they became somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I did make a difference. I made a difference. And I'm grateful that now I know I did make a difference in a lot of my students. So that was a very fulfilling job. And I'm glad I finally got into it. But yes, we should all be very conscientious of what our true destiny is. And it's God's will.
And it's God's will. Yeah, and just to say, I mean, our children, thank God, came out fine. But, looking at today's society and looking at the homelessness that we now have and, looking at the lost children that we are, because a lot of these homeless people that we have, if you kind of look at it carefully, there's a lot of young minds out there, a lot of young souls out there that maybe had been given the okay to be themselves. I'm not saying that we don't need to be in their lives. We do need to be in their lives. We need to be a big supporter. But what my message is here is that it's not up to us. It's up to God. Now, did I make a mistake? I'm going to freely and greatly tell you no. I mean, I did what I thought as a parent I needed to do. And obviously out of my fears, out of my wants, I thought I knew better. But little did I think and knew way back then that my son already had a destiny and has a destiny and will always have a destiny. But I'm not the one to lead him there. It is God. It is him. He needs to find himself. We as parents sometimes feel that we need to let them know and tell them and force upon them what they need to know, when in reality, that is where we do go wrong. So, as a parent, I am telling you that sometimes, as in the Bible it says, lift that yoke, sit back. I'm the one that's going to lead you. So let's God lead the way. And as Rosie said, she has no children, but she worked out as the person who was looking out. And yes, she had parents that I'm sure told her and dictated to her what she needed to be, but she herself found out what her destiny was, as our children. I think sooner or later, many times when we as parents get involved, it's later. Our children do find their destiny. I did. I don't know if Juanita did, but I did, you know, and I'm still in search of my purpose and fulfilling it. And I am telling you that one of the best books that I have ever read is this book, because it just made it so clear to me. It made it that, in fact, the game of life and how to play it is a game. And she says it, you know, life is a game. But like every game, there's rules. And like rules, you got to follow them. If you don't follow them, eventually you're going to fail. And why not do what you have to do? You know, the rules, I just want to tell you, in case you want to read this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, is knowing and understanding the Old Testament and the New Testament. All rules are there. All you got to do is follow them. We loved reading this book.
Yes.
We finished it today.
I learned a lot.
Can't wait to start the other one. So stay with us. All about you, all about me. And unless these beautiful women want to say something, we want to thank you again.
I would like to say that even though sometimes life is not perfect, in my case, because my mother left me young and I wasn't able to acknowledge certain things, that doesn't mean I'm old to make up for things that I want to do, that I want to learn, that I want to prosper. And even if I have to go back to school, I'm willing to do that now. Because with this book, it taught me, yes, life is not perfect, life is a game, but you know what? You can always better yourself regardless the age that you have. So therefore, I am blessed to have what I have, and I am blessed for my children because they have good jobs. But I need to work with them too. I need to learn from them so I can be more knowledgeable. Thank you.
And it's not about jobs to me, I'm sorry, Juanita, but it's about jobs that you must enjoy.
Yes.
Jobs that you must love. Because I'm the first one to say with Bob Proctor, you know, the worst thing to do is work. You have to enjoy what you like to be called work. I mean, you know, what you do is going to define you. And your job, if you like it, if you love it, is going to reward you tremendously.
Yes.
Right. If you don't have joy while you're doing it, then it's not the job for you. And unfortunately, there are so many people that are at a job they do not like, they do not love, they do not enjoy. And they just haven't realized yet that it's because it's the wrong job for them. You know, and we all have a perfect place where we belong. And all we have to do is to ask for that perfect place.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yes.
Yep.
And a lot of us, since we don't know the rules of life, we tend to not ask, and therefore we do not receive what is rightfully ours.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All about you, all about me.